Ruth Bader Ginsburg was one of 9 women in a class of 500. There were 491 men. And she actually had to justify being there to the dean. Why do you deserve to be here and take away a place from a man? In today's world, we often feel that we don't belong, and we often feel as women that we have to justify our presence, whether it's in a field that's unusual for a woman, or it's in an area where we don't typically see women, or where women aren't promoted, and we haven't historically seen women. For myself, being a lawyer as well, I always looked up to her. Being a minority, she was someone who battled against the odds. She overcame great adversity, and she did so in a way that seemed effortlessly. So she graduated top of her class, and even graduating, so first going to Harvard and then to Columbia, transferring there for her final year, no law firm would hire her. And that is the shocking part for someone who was so academically excellent and had so many qualifications. She was writing for the law review, that not a single law firm would hire her. And it was because not only was she a woman, she was Jewish, and she was a mother. So all those things together made her in New York unhireable. And I think of this often, how we overcome adversity at times in a way that we often don't expect. She also, one thing that she did in her life, which nowadays would be seen as I guess shocking, but back then it was quite normal. She hid her second pregnancy when she was a professor at a university, because she thought that she may not get her contract renewed. And this is something that historically women have been doing, and some women still have to do that. She's definitely a defender of the marginalized. She's known for her famous dissents, and she's known, of course, for her famous collar and the justice that she fights for. She's someone I've looked up to most of my life, and I will keep her in memory for as long as I live. And she's someone that I like to channel when I make a decision, or when I have a pro bono case, or when I'm facing adversity and facing stigma. I often think about her. I'm going to be answering this question with a quote from Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. So growing up, I often didn't agree with the gender roles we were assigned. Everything seemed out of reach, and only because I was a little girl. And I often fought against it, but I did so alone. I was the only one who thought, why can't I do this just because I'm a girl or I'm a woman? And often I was met with silence. And it was also the approach of how you communicate that message. So I definitely believe in this quote, because as I got older, I realized when you fight for women's rights and when you fight for women empowerment, you need a whole army behind you, fighting and having that same message. And I think to win people over, the best thing is to share your story, share your hardships, and share how other people have overcome these hardships. So a story I often like to share is a story about my grandmother. When she was a little girl, she wasn't allowed to have any pockets. She was told, as a girl, you have nothing important enough to put in a pocket. And she still went and sewed on her own pockets onto her clothes, onto her garments. And I love this story because I think I take after her a lot. And oftentimes, even when I'm not supposed to do something or to pursue a certain type of career or to fit into this mold of what it means to be a woman, then I think of that. And even when society doesn't believe that you should be doing something, it's all the more reason to go right ahead. We have a voice, we have power, but it's about getting people to listen to that voice and taking us seriously. So from my perspective, it's about being listened to, and it's about using what you already have. So some women are really good at gathering others and finding a community where they communicate a message. Other women are better at kind of packaging that message, making a social media plan, having all types of resources out there. So I think it's just use your strength. You already are strong. So just use whatever you have to your full advantage.